Hello everybody, Lotu for Life here, bringing guys a brand new video. So I asked if you guys wanted to see the Tianwei stuff. Some of you guys said yeah, and well, my thoughts on the Tianwei, I should say. So unfortunately, I missed out on this stuff earlier. I did see it, I just didn't do a video on it because it was right after I did the initial video on last month's feed jump leaks. And I just wasn't able to get around to it because I'm so busy due to school and stuff. So yeah, here we go. Tianwei Dragon Adhara. This is a level 1 Earthworm Tuner effect monster. I guarantee we're not going to get a synchro for this deck. They just made him a tuner because needle fiber. I guarantee that. That's what they've done for a lot of other stuff. And heck, we still don't have a tuner for, I mean, we don't have a synchro for freaking Infernoids, even though they have a tuner. So yeah, the tuner thing just kind of odd. But anyways, attack 0, defense 0. It's a level 1 Earthworm. If you control no effect monsters, you can spell summon this card from your hand. And if you control a non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target one of your banished worm monsters, except this card, add it to your hand. So this right here establishes the main play style with the Tianweis. By the way, you can only use each of their effects once per turn. That kind of goes hand in hand with all of them. They typically have the special summon from your hand if you control no effect monsters. Then they have an effect in the graveyard that they can do only if you have no, if you control a non-effect monster on the field. So basically a normal monster or a monster that just doesn't have an effect. You know, like a common example would be the Gaia, the Saber, I can't remember, the Gaia Synchro, and heck, everything related to Gaia pretty much are all non-effect monsters. And so this also applies to here with the Tianweis. They want to have their non-effect monsters out, and then also, of course, also link up. And this one, I believe all of them, yeah, if you control no effect monsters, that's even if you don't have any monsters out on the field, so you can just plop them on the field, although that immediately locks you out of being able to summon the others, which is a big issue I have with this deck. Side note, I love the artwork on all of these cards. They look amazing. Moving on, we got Tianwei Dragon, oh dear lord, Sathana? It's a level 4 water worm effect monster. 400 attack, 2k defense. It's a level 4, which is pretty nice. If you control no effect monsters, you can spell summon it from your hand. And then its graveyard effect is if you have a non-effect monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target one of those destroyed monsters, special summon it, then you can destroy a monster your opponent controls. So right away, if one of your links or one of your other normal monsters or something you control gets killed, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, special summon that monster, and then pop a monster your opponent controls. That's really, really good. Side note, even though this deck works really well as its own archetype, I could totally see these guys being splashed in other normal decks like Pacificus, maybe Blue Eyes and Red Eyes. Would be interesting to see what people do with it. And then we got this monstrosity that I can't even make an oh, there he is. I just saw the fire and more fire and couldn't tell where the monster was, but now there he is. So Tianwei Dragon Manira, level 4 worm fire effect monster, 600 attack, 1500 defense. If you control no effect monsters, you can plop it on your field. Second effect, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a non-effect monster you control. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. Pretty nice protection from targeting for your non-effect monsters. Just all around good card. I mean, targeting is not like the biggest thing in the world nowadays, but however, it does help out, of course. It can negate any it can negate any targeting effect. So oh, your opponent tries to impermanent something. Well, no. Moving on, Tianwei Dragon Nahata. Again, loving the artwork on these cards. It's just so cool. It's basically a big tree dragon. Level 4 Worm Wind effect monster, 800 attack, 1000 defense. Has special summoning effect, of course. When an attack is declared involving your non-effect monster and opponent's face-up monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard. That opponent's monster loses 1500 attack until the end of this turn. It's basically a reverse honest, and I love it. It's really, really cool. You can do it whenever you're attacking or whenever your opponent's monster is attacking. Wonderful little card here. Moving on, we got Tianwei Dragon Fashuda. God, again, the artwork and the lore too. They actually released a story after this, and it's very, very interesting. So if you control no effect monsters, you can summon it from your hand. If you control a non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand to graveyard and target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Really good card overall right there. Just, get rid of more cards. Since it's level 7 and you have a level 1 tuner, you can make some synchro plays as well. It'll be interesting to see what kind of synchros people play in the deck, if any. So then, first and foremost, we got the first Link, Warrior Monk of Tianwei. He's a Link 1 Earthworm monster, obviously. No effect, 1,000 attack, points bottom, and he just needs a non-Link Tianwei monster. Yeah, he's just kind of there as a stepping stone to make the other monsters. Then we got an actual effect monster for the Links, which is very, very weird. Instant waifu, I guess, had something to kind of mention. She's a Link 2, points bottom left and bottom right. Is generic in that she only needs 2 worm monsters, which is really cool because now other worm archetypes like what are they called? Yang Zing can play her as well. I don't know if they would, but oh wait, yeah, they totally would right here. Her first effect is you can discard a card and target a worm monster in graveyard. Special summon it, but for the rest of this turn, after you cannot activate the effects of monsters special in front of the extract other than Tianwei monsters while they are on the field. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can, again, like, if you're playing this in Yang Zing, you just summon it from your graveyard and then you synchro into something. Because it only prevents you from activating the effects of your non-Tianwei extract monsters while that monster's on the field, so you don't really care. But for Tianwei itself, this is a great stepping stone. And then when an attack is declared involving your non-effect monster, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. This is really, really good as well. My only issue is that you don't want to keep her out on field for very long because your monsters need to have, well, you controlling no non-effect controlling all non-effect monsters. So I don't know how much people are going to really be keeping her on the field and stuff, but right off the bat, you'll be, of course, using her to make the boss monster, the Link 3 Fierce Ogre of Tianwei. He's a Link 3 Dark Worm Link effect monster, attack 3k, needs 2 or more monsters, including a Link monster, so he is generic. I don't think anybody other than Tianwei are going to play him, but he is a 3k beater that's a generic, just vanilla, so that's kind of cool, of course. And he's a Link 3 too, so he's not like the hardest thing in the world to summon. But he is the deck's boss monster, and you generally want to get him out pretty quick. Now then on to the spells and traps. First and foremost, we got the field spell, which again has pretty good artwork, and it's called Tianwei Wu Bang Stance. It's a field spell, obviously. Non-effect monsters on the field are unaffected by monster effects. That is just mean. I love it. And then once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, an effect monster, and you control a non-effect monster, you can draw 2 cards. This is really nice. I don't see it activating that often, in all honesty, just because, you activate it, your opponent's immediately going to be gunning for it to get rid of. Now, granted, spell and trap card destruction is not too common, so you might be able to get 1 draw out of it, or I guess 2 draws technically, because it's a pot of greed, but you might be able to get a couple draws out of it on the first turn, but your opponent's not going to let you keep this out for more than 1 turn. I still think it's a 3 of, though, because it does protect your monsters, and you do get to draw cards, too, which is always nice. Then we got a normal spell card, Hollow of Dragon Chakra, which, good lord, again, the artwork is just great. And apparently the lore has it that, like, a Fierce Ogre basically is like the master of the Tianwei fighting style. He goes to this, like, cave to do some training, and then while he's there, he gets corrupted by the evil-looking dragon up here. So, and then the 2 other Tianweis, his pupils, have to try and knock some sense into him, basically. So yeah, send 1 worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if you control a non-effect monster, you can add 1 Tianwei monster from your deck to your hand of a different name from the sent monster to the graveyard. I love it how just flat out this is a Foolish Burial for worms. And then if you happen to control a non-effect monster, you can add a Tianwei monster from your deck to your hand. This is really, really good. It does require a bit of setup, though, so you do generally gotta, like, make your Link 1, activate this, send a dude, add a dude. But even then, even for non-Tianwei worm decks, I could totally see, like, Yang Zing maybe playing this to set up their graveyard, which is pretty cool. Then they got a counter trap, which shows them, well, fighting their master, trying to, again, knock some sense into them. Tianwei Wushang Strike. God, I can't wait to see what else this deck gets. It's a counter trap. When a monster effect or a spell or trap card is activated, if you control a non-effect monster, negate that activation. If this set card you control is destroyed by an opponent's effect, you can special summon one non-effect monster from your extract. This is really cool dual utility. Of course, first and foremost, it's a standard Infernity Barrier, because of course every deck needs an Infernity Barrier. But on top of that, if your opponent does destroy it before you even get a chance to use it, you just get a free monster from your extract. It's so cool. And it's any non-effect monster from your extract. It does not have to be a Link monster. It does not have to be a Tianwei monster. Any non-effect monster from your extract, you can just special summon. So, oh, your opponent pops this. Hello, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I mean, I'm not saying you would do that, but however, it is something interesting to consider. Because, I mean, oh, you pop this. Okay, I get a free 4,500 beat stick. I just think it's kind of cool. Again, it's not like the second effect's not the best in the world, and more often than not, you're probably just going to summon out the big ogre dude so that you can have your Tianwei monsters out. But however, being able to just summon any non-effect monster if it's destroyed is pretty nice. And of course, being able to negate stuff is also nice. So that's it for Tianwei right now. Right now, as we know of Fordham and everything, I think they're a pretty cool rogue deck. I don't think they're going to do anything particularly amazing in the meta. They have potential to be something just absolutely insane if they do get, well, when they do get more support. And I don't think this is all they're getting in the main set either. I think they're going to get a couple more cards, probably another spell or trap or two. But this is really, really interesting so far, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. What do you guys think of Tianwei? Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. It was your birthday. Happy birthday. And see you all later. Peace out. Goodbye.